All right, here's where you guys are gonna go and enter your data in these 4 yellow columns. So you're gonna do your own height and wingspan, and then you can pick 3 people from your family, or you can ask 3 friends, or something like that, but they've gotta be kids not in stats class. This is gonna prevent you guys from actually stealing and copying each other's projects. You're all gonna have a unique project, but you can work together and help each other out, that's fine, but no one's gonna have the exact same graph or equation because you're gonna have 4 different people than everybody else. So you're gonna use the data I've given you plus your 4. Okay, so I'm gonna do an example problem with you, and that's also listed down here at the bottom. And I'm gonna show you guys how we're gonna create this graph. Your graph's gonna have a title, we're gonna list the X and Y axis, and we're also going to have the linear regression equation right there. So I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm gonna show you step by step how I can create a graph. Okay, so to create a chart, you go to this little symbol right here, it says insert chart. And right now it says there's no data, and we're gonna fix that. But first I'd like you guys to go to chart type and make sure you scroll down until you select the scatter plot. So it says scatter. Okay, and then we need to tell it what data we want. So on the x-axis, for this practice problem, what we have is an age and years and height in centimeters. So it's probably, this is a child. So in our x-axis, we want the age. So what you do is you click on those little 4 squares right there, and then it says select range. What you can do is you can hold and highlight and see how it shows up A2.A8. I'm gonna click OK. And then I also need to pick the Y variable, which for some reason they call that series instead of Y variable. So I'm gonna click on series, add series right here, and I'm gonna change that to my height. And I'm gonna hold and drag and click OK. And now you see a scatter plot, and you can tell I have my ages on the bottom because they're like ages 1 to 13, and then the heights are along the y-axis. Now I'm gonna show you guys how you put the title on. So you're gonna go to customize and go to chart and axis titles. Right now I'm on chart title, so I'm gonna do, I'm gonna want you guys to put your name in, just so you can't have other people's scatter plot. So Mrs. Todd data, I'll say. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do for my x-axis, you go to horizontal axis, and I'm going to type in age, years, and it just shows up. Do you guys see how it shows up down there? Then see where it's green, it says horizontal, you just click on that again and do vertical, and that's height in centimeters. And you just type it in, and it'll automatically show up. Okay, to get the linear equation, what we don't want to be on chart and axis tile, so if you click on it again, it'll minimize again. We want to go to this that says series, and you're going to scroll down to where you see a trend line. So trend line right here. And we have different options. This is a linear, that's what we want to keep it on, but there's other options that we might deal with later in this chapter, like exponential or polynomial or logarithmic, but we're going to leave it linear. And then to get the equation to show up, you scroll down a little bit more, and right now it says label none. We're going to say use equation, and then the equation will show up. Then what I would do to get this onto your sheet is if you go to the 3 dots here, I think you can just do copy chart, and then you can paste it in your Google Docs. Now I'm going to show you guys what the best fit line slope, what that stands for, and also we're going to learn about what's called a residual. So this is the same data as we have here about this age and height of this child. And you guys should remember from algebra, y equals mx plus b. Our slope is the 6.46. So I think what's helpful with slope is to make it a fraction. It doesn't have to be a proper fraction, so I'm just going to write 6.46 over 1. And do you guys remember learning in science or in algebra, slope is rise over run, or change in y over change in x? Well, our y variable is height, and our x variable is age. So when you start your sentence, you always want to start with the x variable. So our x variable is age. So as age increases by, and see how there's a 1 here? It's always going to be a 1, but put the unit. So as age increases by 1 year, the height, that's the y variable, increases by, and see the y variable is by 6.46. but then we would want to label that in centimeters. And that like makes sense. It sounds like it makes sense. Every year this child's growing about 6.46 centimeters. Okay, a residual is what's called an error. So we're going to find the residual. Let's find the residual for this child at age 5. Okay, so if I look on my scatter plot, here's age 1, age 3, age 5. See how his actual dot is a little bit above the line? The residual is how far that dot is from the line. So the formula for residual is the actual value of y minus the predicted value of y. So at age 5, the actual height of this child was 108. And I know that's in centimeters. So 108. The predicted value is the value from the linear equation. So this is the predicted equation. So all you have to do is plug a 5 and see what it predicts his height should be. So we're going to do 6.46 times 5 plus 72.3, and we're going to see how far apart that is from 108. When we type that in our calculator, we get 104.6. So the residual is how far off that dot is from the line, and that would be 3.4, and then here we will label centimeters. So even though it doesn't look very far at all, that dot is 3.4 centimeters above the line. If you had a dot below the line, you're going to get a negative residual. If it's above the line, it'll be a positive residual.